Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Western Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited you are here. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, if you have any questions at all throughout the presentations, feel free to submit those through the Q&A button to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. They are there and ready and available to answer your questions. Your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. And lastly, this recording will be available a week from today. All sessions are being recorded and can be accessed at strivescan.com/WACAC. We are in session C14, where my mouse is circling right now, and this will be the order of our presentations for tonight. So without further ado, I'll get out of the way and introduce our first presenter from the University of Southern California. Hey, you were
Hi,
on
good
mute.
afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Fergoso, and I'd like to welcome you all to this WACAC Fair. As it was mentioned, I'm the representative from the University of Southern California, and I wanted to give you all just really a quick rundown about USC and about who we are as an institution and how we provide certain opportunities for our students and just to help get to learn a little bit more about USC. And so in terms of who we are a private research university located about 10 minutes away from the heart of downtown Los Angeles. We provide students with a variety of different options when it comes to the academic side, and also a variety of different options when it comes to the kind of social and kind of campus life opportunities that we have here at USC. On the screen, you're actually going to be seeing some of our numbers that kind of dictate who we are as, in terms of the numbers, being that we are a fairly large institution with a kind of a total enrollment of around 46,000 students, with 20,000 of those being undergraduate students. You also see that we have a student to faculty ratio that is around 8:1 and an average class size of 26. So I like to really dictate that the university really has a very unique identity in that it's being able to provide you an opportunity to have that kind of large campus life experience, while also providing you within the academic setting and student services, the opportunity to kind of have that kind of small liberal arts college feel to it. That it is very important to kind of help you dictate and navigate the different spaces that we have here at USC. In terms of what we have to offer in terms of the kind of undergraduate experience that you could typically find at USC, you'll see that we offer a very unique experience that we like to highlight in around 6 points. The first one being a flexibility for for interdisciplinary study, what simply means is the ability for you to take advantage of all the different resources that we have at USC on the academic side. So meaning that you'll be able to double major across our different schools. So for example, if you're interested in going into engineering or business or communication, or any of our other kind of selected schools here at USC, the ability for you to kind of be able to double major across the different colleges here at USC is something that's a big possibility for our students, and also being able to minor across our different schools. So you'll see that students typically are able to major within engineering and also minor within dance, or major in business administration, or double major across communication or journalism as well. So those are just a few examples of that kind of flexibility that we have to offer in terms of the academic side. We also offer a lot of opportunities when it comes to research as our second point, as it's able to provide you with an opportunity to really get a good in-depth look of what that discipline is. And being recognized as a private research institution, it's kind of that research is kind of available to you in an abundance here at USC. And so that's something that you'll be able to kind of get your feet wet and kind of explore the different opportunities that comes with research. We also do provide a global perspective, and that comes in terms of our community that we have here at USC. And so being able to take advantage of our large, diverse community, also being able to take advantage of our campus life opportunities with over 1,000+ organizations here at USC. And then finally, being able to wrap everything up within the kind of community that is the Trojan family or the Trojan network. And that's something that we hope students are being able to take advantage of throughout their time as a student, being able to navigate these different spaces and being able to find different mentors, and post-graduation being able to find internships and job opportunities that are offered across the world through the access of our Trojan family as well. And so kind of having a good idea of what USC is and what we have to offer. I do like to highlight a few of our kind of highlights of when it comes to the application process. We do have two deadlines, which are our December 1st deadline and our January 15th deadline. We offer merit scholarship opportunities for students that apply by December 1st, and it's also the deadline for selected majors at USC. So you'll be able to find a little bit more information by exploring the different programs that you have to offer. But that's the only kind of difference that you see between the December 1st deadline and the January 15th deadline, being that if you're interested in our scholarships, all you need to do is submit your USC application by December 1st. But if you're not interested in those scholarships, you could always submit your application by January 15th as well. And as noted, we have no early decision or early action programs at USC. We are located exclusively on the Common application, so you'll be able to find all of our materials here on the Common app, along with all of our the USC Common app, and also the USC supplements that you'll need to submit alongside the Common application. And then finally, to kind of hit on a little bit about financial aid, we do provide need-based financial aid for all of our students who are eligible. You'll see that USC is a need-blind institution, meaning that we do not take your financials into account when we are evaluating applications. We also did launch our new Affordability Initiative program, which provides students and families who make an annual income of under $80,000 free tuition at USC. So that's a really great opportunity for any students who feel that USC is too expensive of an option. All you need to do to be eligible to be reviewed for this Affordability Initiative program is to submit your FAFSA and CSS profile by February 12th. To be reviewed for your eligibility for not only our financial aid and our need-based aid, but also our Affordability Initiative program as well. And so you will find a lot more information regarding financial aid and utilizing the net price calculator to kind of see what your specific price would be for USC. And so to find a little bit more information about that, you could always visit our financial aid website, and you could always get in contact with us as admission counselors to answer a few more questions that you may have regarding USC and also the financial aid process. And with that kind of being said, you'll be able to find our information on our Find Your Admission Counselor website. But that's kind of all that I have here today. I hope to answer a few more of your questions in the Q&A box, but I'd like to pass it over to, I believe, the University of Pacific, who is up next. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So much great information. I am excited to introduce our next presenter from the University of Pacific.
All right, let me make sure we're all set. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Davidson. I am a Senior Assistant Director of Admission at the University of the Pacific. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. So Pacific-wise, just want to kind of give you some brief information to help you get a little sense of the university. We're located in Northern California, so we have 3 different campus locations across the region. So we have a campus in San Francisco, we have a campus in Sacramento, and we also have our main campus, which is located in Stockton. And so we've got about 3,500 undergrad students on our main campus location. We offer over 80 different majors and program options on our campus, which is something that we're really proud of in terms of being a smaller school, but offering lots of different options for students to choose from. We are, while we're a smaller school, we offer, the extensive things you might find on a larger campus in terms of student life and the overall student experience. So we have over 150 clubs and organizations. We are a Division I school in sports. And so you'll find that we have lots of great school spirit on our campus, lots of things happening, never really a dull moment. One of the things we're also really well known for is just our customizable education. So we've got multiple accelerated program options for students looking to who are interested in professional school options, graduate school options. And so that's something that really draws students to our campus. We've got really well-known co-op and internship opportunities, great study abroad program. And Stockton itself is actually known to be one of the most diverse cities in the country. So that's also kind of an extension of our campus, really provides lots of great opportunities for students off campus as well. Now, regardless of what you decide to study at Pacific, so some of our more popular options, you'll see lots of students typically interested in our pre-dental option, our pre-farm option, got a great business program. Engineering is another popular option. Music, we have a great conservatory of music. And then sociology, psychology has been very popular this year. So this is kind of gives you an overview of what we offer. I wanted to show this to you, but regardless of what students decide to study at Pacific, one of the things that you'll find in common across the board is just experiential learning. And at Pacific, it is our goal to make sure that your experience extends beyond the four walls of your classroom. So we want students to know what it's like to be in your field of study. And we want to connect students with great opportunities to get some hands-on experience and get involved in internships, co-ops, and actual employment opportunities before you graduate. So that way, when it comes time to graduate and either move on into your career or graduate school or professional school, we want students to have a smooth process as they transition out. And we want students to get into their desired career or desired area of study or career after you graduate. So 91% of our graduates are employed right after graduation. 93% are working in the field relative to their career objective. And then 1 in 4 of our graduates are accepted to graduate or professional school. So we do an excellent job at Pacific in terms of preparing students for that transition after college, which I think is something that is really important to note about the experience at Pacific. Now, paying for Pacific as a private school option, you know, this is a question that comes up in many of my conversations with students. And what we want you to know is that we really have a focus on putting a nationally acclaimed education within reach for our students. And so we have a list of merit-based scholarship options available for students. So the way our process works is, you know, when you submit your application, that automatically puts you in the pool for most of our scholarship options. We do have one that is the most competitive, it requires students to actually fill out an additional application. But these are renewable scholarships, so you would receive that amount for 4 years. We've got lots of grants, and of course, we encourage students to submit the FAFSA. And so right now, about 89% of our students are receiving on average about $28,000. And so we're really happy about that. We also, Pacific alums earn the second highest of salaries among California colleges and universities. So again, our students are moving on to great opportunities, which really highlights the investment piece here. Now, applying, we are a Common App school, but we also have our own application as well. So you will find those as you visit our admissions page. You'll find links to both options. It kind of depends on what your preference is. We do not have an application fee, and we are test optional, and that will be the case at least for a few years, and that may be the case beyond that. We're still working on that piece. We have early action process. So November 15th is the deadline for early action students. January 15th is the deadline for our regular application options. So if you are interested in learning more, feel free to throw some questions in the chat for us. And also I put up some links where you can check out our campus virtually if you've never been there. My contact information is here as well. So thank you. And I think we have Vanguard next.
Awesome, thank you. We really appreciate it. Unfortunately, Vanguard University was unable to attend tonight, but I look forward to introducing the representative from Mills College.
Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and get myself ready. Awesome. So hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. Hopefully you all can hear me, and happy Pi Day if you're aware that today is the 14th of March. My name is Quinn Diaz. My pronouns are they, them, and I am an admissions counselor at Mills College. And so first off, I'm going to talk a little bit about Mills College. So we were established in 1852 as the first women's college in the west of the Rockies, and we are currently located in Oakland, California. We are a four-year private liberal arts school, and we are currently known as a historically women's college. We do admit self-identified women, transgender, and gender non-conforming students to our school. We are also a fairly small school, about 600 undergraduate students. However, this does allow a very individualized learning experience for all of our students. Students are really encouraged to use the tools that they learn in their classrooms to apply to solve social problems and assist their surrounding communities. Our classroom sizes are about 10 to 12 students per classroom, but our student to faculty ratio is about 8 to 1. Mills really does encourage all of our students to feel comfortable being themselves and also being able to make a statement. In regards to diversity on campus, Mills is a fairly diverse university or college. We are a Hispanic serving institution, and 64% of our students do identify as students of color. In addition, 58% of our students do identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community. And all of our students really do come to Mills with different passions and interests. And we have over 30 different majors that you can choose from. And our more popular majors are English, pre-nursing, psychology, sociology, public health and health equity, and also politics, economics, policy, and law. Mills is really flexible with students in their educational paths in regards to being able to apply to Mills as undeclared and also being able to create their own major. And we also have opportunities to accelerate your education by getting both your bachelor's and master's degree in an additional year by staying at Mills through our accelerated master's program. In regards to student resources, we have various resources for Mills, including study abroad, where students can study abroad both internationally and domestically. We have career and community career advising and community outreach, research and internship opportunities. We have our counseling and psychological services, where all of our students get up to 8 free sessions per year. We also have our student access and support services, which is our accommodations office on campus. And we also have our Vera Health Clinic, where students can be seen by a doctor and get their prescription refilled on campus. And academics is not the only factor in a lot of our students' educational experience. A lot of our students are also participating in organizations, clubs, and internships to be involved in their communities, both on and off campus. And Mills does a really great job in regards to mentorship with faculty and alumni, where students really feel prepared by the time they graduate and by the time they enter their first job field. In regards to our application, it is fairly simple. You'll need to apply either through the Mills application and or the common application. You need to submit any transcripts from any colleges and high schools you've attended, one letter of recommendation, and if you are an international student, the English language proficiency exam. It's optional to submit your SAT and ACT scores, and it's also optional to do an admissions interview. We do have 2 deadlines for our first year students, which is in November 15th and January 15th for our early action and then for our regular decision. And then I know education, especially private education, can be fairly expensive. However, Mills has really made an effort in regards to making higher education accessible. We do offer merit scholarships and need-based scholarships to our students. And our merit scholarships for our first year students can get up to $14,000. And we are also a renewable scholarship, so you'll get them for 4 years. And you may be questioning, why would you consider coming to a women's college? And what I like to inform you about women's colleges is that first off, in comparison to going to a co-ed school, you are 2 times more likely to persist in a STEM field. And you're also more likely to feel that your institution has prepared you for your life after graduation, such as your first job. I also want to highlight Barbara Lee. Barbara Lee is California's 13th U.S. Congresswoman. 13th District Congresswoman, and she is actually a Mills alumni. She said that Mills really encouraged her to become a free-thinking woman, and she was empowered to not just fight for herself, but for all women and especially Black people. So this, I hope this really goes to show that Mills really sets our students to be, sets them up to become leaders and also feel confident in themselves by all the support and the mentorship that they are met by from other women. So thank you all for listening. Again, happy Pi Day. If you want more information about Mills College, feel free to contact us at admission@mills.edu and or contact me at Q Prado Diaz. And also I put in my information into the chat. So thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. So excited. Just a reminder, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to submit those through the Q&A button. Our presenters are there ready and available to answer any questions that you have. If you also want to include the institution name as well, that will be really helpful. Unfortunately, Lake Tahoe Community College was unable to join us tonight, but I'm excited to share our last, but certainly not least, presenter of the night from Fresno Pacific University.
Thank you. Hey, all. Thank you for being here. I just want to say that I appreciate students and parents that are in the presentation. It's super helpful to attend these fairs, to attend these presentations, to get the information that you need. For you juniors and maybe still seniors looking at colleges, it can be a tough choice to make. So again, I appreciate you being here. Ask your questions. We're here as a resource. I'm going to spend some time talking about Fresno Pacific. So my name is Jorge. I'm admissions counselor at Fresno Pacific. Let me go through some information. I know we're going quick. So again, if you have questions, we have a Q&A chat at the end. So feel free to submit your questions. We're all available to help. So some context of where Fresno is located. We're located here in the Central Valley. Up north, of course, we have like Bay Area, Sacramento, and down south, LA and Southern California. So we're kind of like, right in the middle. Around us, we have a couple national parks. So if you're into hiking and backpacking, that kind of thing, that's kind of big on campus. But anyway, just wanted to give you some context of, where we're located, Fresno being the 5th largest city in California. In terms of FPU in our campus, here are some quick facts. We are about just over 1,000 undergraduate students. So as you're looking at colleges, some of the main factors might be, is it a big school? Is it a small school? Is it far from home, close to home? Different factors, but FPU, we are a small campus, about a little over 1,000 undergraduate students. 47% of our students are also Latinx students, very representative of the Central Valley. So just want to point out there's two pieces of just information about FPU. In addition to that, a smaller campus size allows us to have a small student to faculty ratio. About 11:1 is a student to faculty ratio. We have 100 plus areas of study, and that's really just going to cover all the different majors, combination of majors, emphasis, minors, that kind of thing. So that's available at FPU. 81% of our faculty hold terminal degrees, so that's the highest degree in their field. So in terms of like choosing a major, here are a couple of distinctive majors related to Fresno Pacific University. Nursing is a new nursing program that we have at FPU. Liberal arts, if you want to go into education, if you want to go into becoming a teacher, that's a major we definitely want to highlight here at FPU. And then we also have software engineering. But of course, there's a whole list of our majors on our website, fresno.edu, that you can check out. Something I want to just encourage you all with is, if you're a student and you don't know like what you want to do, you don't know what you want to major in, I just want to say that's okay. At FPU, like if you decide, you want to change your major, we have advisors and faculty that are able to help support and help you kind of process through choosing a major. It can be tough. It can be tough to like feel like you have to pick a career, at 17, 18 years old. But at FPU, we have a great support system that allows you to explore different classes, different majors, and really look into what kind of career that plays into your strengths and talents. But beyond that, at FPU, we also have a 4-year graduation guarantee. And so it's exactly how it sounds. We can guarantee you finish your degree in 4 years. If you don't finish in those 4 years within the guarantee parameters, we will pay for that extra semester. So if it takes you 4.5, FPU will pay for the extra half. It's definitely possible to finish sooner at FPU. Me personally, I finished in 3.5 years at FPU, got my degree. Some of my friends finished in 3. So if you're on a somewhat of a timeline, you have like goals that you want to get ahead by a certain time, consider FPU as one of your options. We're able to make sure you finish on time, if not sooner. Studying is important, classes are important, but it's also good to invest in your experience in college. Community life here at FPU is really, because we're a small campus, we just kind of foster that, just kind of like intentional community. We have a lot of student events, clubs, athletic games, trips, that kind of thing. Yes, it's important to study, but it's also, again, the experience that you're going to receive in college is going to be what you invest in. So I encourage you to get involved at the various kinds of things that the colleges have to offer. One of those things could be athletics. We're NCAA Division II. We have a list of sports on our website, fpuathletics.com. So if you're interested in competing at the collegiate level, definitely look into Fresno Pacific as an option. Here are the list of sports that we have. For women's sports, we have basketball, cheer, cross country, soccer, swimming and diving, tennis, track and field, volleyball, and water polo. And then for the men's sports, we have very similar list: baseball, basketball, cross country, soccer, swimming and diving, track and field, tennis, and water polo. I'll go through this list again. Women's sports, feel free to take a screenshot. And then the men's sports. Sorry. And again, you can find the full list and the recruit form and everything on our website, fpuathletics.com. Again, NCAA Division II. Even though we're a small school, you know, we still hold our own in terms of competitiveness and sports. Now, another outlet for students to participate in could be choir or instrumental ensembles. Just like athletics, the choir and instrumental ensembles, music, as well as theater, there are scholarships available by participating in those. Obviously, they're going to depend on skill, audition, that kind of thing. But as another thing, again, to really invest in your experience and see what you can be a part of. Now, I touched on scholarships a little bit, and I know that can be, and in my case too, when I was a high school student thinking like, okay, college is great, you know, I want to make sure I'm choosing the one that's for me. But of course, finances are going to be an important factor. Me being a first generation student, choosing colleges was a very stressful thing for me. And so one of the top factors for me was finances. How am I going to pay for school? How am I doing that thing? How am I going to determine all those like decisions? So FPU does a great job of providing that financial aid support. We have a lot of scholarships and financial aid. 98% of our students receive financial aid. So yeah, definitely consider us. And then lastly, I'm gonna go through this quick slide. Our application is more or less a rolling deadline, so feel free to still apply. There's usually a fee, but I'll put the code in the chat. You can visit campus still. And then finally, or we're open for visits right now. And then finally, here's my contact information. So take a screenshot, follow us on social media. Again, thank you for being here. Sorry to rush that, but yeah, available for questions. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All great information shared from our presenters tonight. We do have some time left, and so we're going to move into our Q&A portion of the webinar. And I invite the presenters at this time to turn on their cameras, to unmute themselves, and we'll go ahead and get started with our first question, which is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? Again, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we will start in the order in which you all presented it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long process, and it's not an easy process. Like, it's a very stressful time, not only as a high school student in your senior year, not only with everything going on, but it's also going to be a tough decision to be making. And so I always feel that you always have to be utilizing your time as effectively as possible by just really visiting these kind of information sessions with a few of the colleges that you have on your list, and really seeing what they have to offer for you. Because at the end of the day, you know, prestige and rankings, those kind of go out the window if you're not really enjoying yourself at a university. And so if you really feel like this university does not have exactly what you need or exactly what you're looking for, that fits your needs and your sense of community that you need within that kind of institution, then maybe it's a school that you need to take off of your list and focus your time on completing that application for a school, and personalize it a little bit more for a school that actually meets those kind of meets your standards and meets your checklist. And so definitely, it's always like, you always hear that word thrown around: fit. What's the right fit for you? And that's really true, because you need to find that right fit. And I definitely urge you all to just go to as many information sessions as possible, just to really get to learn a little bit more about that institution at a much more kind of in-depth and descriptive level by all those offerings at all these universities. But yeah, I definitely say, you know, use your time effectively, and don't try to overbear yourself by trying to apply to so many different colleges, because I guarantee you're going to get accepted to one of them, and it's going to be a college that you truly cherish and you truly value.
If I would add to that, I would say, you know, one thing that, especially now, because of how the pandemic has really kind of reshaped the way many of us approach the admissions process, and at least for Pacific, I think it's a good idea to really spend some quality time with constructing your essay. I know most of you are probably already doing that, but I think that the essay, especially for schools that are kind of conducting a holistic review, that essay is even more important than it was in the past. And so I think, you know, just taking some time to really identify a good topic or a good approach for yourself that allows you to really showcase who you are as a student and as a person. And it gives you, you know, take some time to have other people read it and give you some feedback. I think that that's something that will go a long way, especially, or at least in our process. So.
I want to chime in regards to cost of tuition in regards to private schools. I know a lot of private schools, you type it into Google, like how much does Mills College cost? And it comes up with a really big number. However, a lot of private institutions do offer ways to decrease their cost. So when you're looking at what colleges you want to even apply to, I highly recommend connecting with your admissions counselor, asking if they have any institutional aid that helps bring down that actual cost. Because sometimes it can cover half of tuition. And some students don't know that because they are so blown away by that big number, that sticker price, that they choose not to even apply. However, all of our institutions do offer some kind of aid in regards to helping bring down that cost. And especially if you are undocumented and do not qualify for the California DREAM Act, you are still eligible for these institutional grants. So again, the biggest thing I can say is connecting with the admissions office, finding out who your admissions counselor is, in addition to everything that everyone else has said so far. But that's just my few cents that I would like to give to everyone in regards to your school search.
Yeah, and everyone had great answers. This is like really good information, and I appreciate everyone's answers so far. Yeah, along those same lines, something I want to encourage students in this process is to, yeah, don't feel like intimidated by like the application process. A lot of people are here to help. There are schools that you think maybe like I shouldn't apply to, you know, maybe it's out of reach, maybe, you know, the costs or like the fit, that kind of thing. I would say apply anyway. See, you know, what your options are going to be. Don't limit yourself to, you know, one or two options just because you think, you know, that's the choice you have to make. But I would say apply everywhere. More options are great. Yes, later, you know, it's a decision process, but it's better to have, in my opinion, better to have more options during this college process than fewer. So yeah, that's my one piece, I guess.
All great advice. It's always great to hear from those who are directly working at a specific school to get advice and tips from. So thank you. Just another reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to submit those through the Q&A button. There are lots of great questions coming in. And we also recommend putting the school name as well if you have a specific question. That way the representative knows who to answer. So thank you. Our next question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So many to choose from, but I think one that I vividly remembered so much and like really kind of emphasize that kind of thing about community and the Trojan family is during a non-pandemic time and during the football season of USC. We hold a week-long kind of spirit week where you could think of it as kind of like your homecoming at high school. But at USC, you know, just think of it at a grander level where you actually have a lot of kind of concerts and musical events that are happening on the day before or the 2 days before the actual USC UCLA game. And so you'll have like this whole giant event, kind of like a whole fair that's happening on our campus that provides just a lot of food trucks that are coming in from local restaurants around Los Angeles, live music, and also concerts from like some really big name artists, all free of charge, which is the important part to address, that all this is actually free to all the students that attend. And so just to have that kind of spirit the day before that kind of very big rivalry game is actually something that's really awesome and really kind of solidifies that idea of like all the students come together and having that kind of school pride and school spirit, and then going out to the game and then just hoping that we beat UCLA.
Yeah, for us, it's something very similar. Each year we host what we call the annual Block Party event. which for us is it's designed to really bring the campus community together, but it's happens every year at the beginning of the year. Brings usually a little over 2,000 students out. There's music, there's live music, there's dancing, opportunities to meet new people on campus, and other folks that are members of the community. And I think it's the reason why I like this event is because, a lot of times, especially for those students who are new to our community, obviously the transition to college can be difficult for anyone. And so it really just creates a light atmosphere and a great opportunity for students to really get comfortable being on campus and really getting a chance to learn about just the overall experience and what it's like to be a student right off the bat. So.
I'm going to try to talk about two fairly quickly. However, I've included a link in the chat that talks more about our history and our traditions. But first off, for first year students, we have a tradition called where you write wishes on our wishing tree. And you write 3 wishes when you're first year, one for yourself, one for your community, and one for the world. And legend has it that once you write your wish and you tie it to the tree, once it falls from the tree, it comes true. And so that's one of our cool traditions that we do have for our first year students. And then for our seniors, we actually have a senior wall where you're able to actually write a statement, paint something, whatever for your success out of these 4 years of college or your 2 years if you transfer in, for the incoming seniors and for our community, both on and off campus in our local community, to be able to read throughout the year. And so those are really 2 big popular traditions that we do have. And again, I included a link so that way you can actually see our senior wall and learn more about our President's Tea and our Fires of Wisdom. So thank you all so much.
Something I look forward to at Fresno Pacific now working, as staff and was able to participate as a student was our Thanksgiving celebration. So basically we, set up our gym special event center with just rows of tables, and we decorate the tables for Thanksgiving, and everybody on campus is invited to share a meal together. And it's great, with the staff, faculty, students, just for all to come together. We highlight our international students on that event too. So we have like a parade of all the countries represented on campus. They have the flags and everything. It's kind of neat. We have our Pacific brass playing there as well. So it's a great kind of like a community event that really unifies the campus, sharing a meal together, hearing a speaker, that kind of thing. So yeah, Thanksgiving, the food is great too, so that's something I look forward to each year.
All great traditions that are happening. And even during this time, there are things still going on campus, virtually or not. So that's always great to hear. Our last question for tonight is, give an interesting or fun fact about your school.
I would say one that just comes top of mind in terms of like a fun fact is that USC has a marching band, and it's a really famous marching band. And they were actually, some of you may be too young to know who Fleetwood Mac is, but they were actually invited by Fleetwood Mac to actually perform Tusk from his 12th album. And so in that performance and in performing and collaborating with Fleetwood Mac, USC is the only collegiate marching band that has a platinum record. And they were able to actually snag 2 platinum records. So every time you hear the USC marching band and they throw up the V for victory or the fight on sign, it also signifies the 2 platinum records that they hold as well.
And so for the University of the Pacific, I think one of the fun facts that jumps out to me is that we've had multiple movies filmed on our campus. And so to give you some homework, I'll let you Google that and see the list of that. But there are multiple movies that have been filmed on our campus, which I think is a pretty cool fun fact.
For meals, two quick things. First off, in the spring, we do have eucalyptus trees. And so for a small time period on campus, it smells like eucalyptus all throughout campus. And also when you do graduate, you do, if you would like to purchase one from the Alumni Association, they actually take a eucalyptus leaf and they actually turn it into a pin. And so that's a really cool thing that we have on our campus, that students are able to experience that kind of smell on campus, think of our campus, and then also be able to take it home after they graduate. So that's one cool fun fact about Milnes.
Fun fact, FPU, our original mascot was actually the Vikings. And the reasoning we changed our mascot is because our Mennonite Brethren roots kind of took more of like a, I don't know, non-violent stance on things. So we changed our mascot to a sunbird. And not many people know like what a sunbird actually is. It's actually like a really like small, non-threatening kind of bird. So I don't know, kind of fun, interesting, like, you know, why we changed our mascot. But yeah, just a quick fun fact.
So we do have time for one more that I'm going to personally ask. And so I think it will be really helpful before we close. And that is, what is one thing you wish you would have known that you feel an incoming student would benefit from? So from your personal experience, or just things that you've heard from other students that you think would be helpful to share?
I would say definitely the offerings that you'll see at USC can sometimes really be overwhelming. And I feel like one of the biggest things that I, you know, I'm speaking also about my own personal experience when I went to USC, is to kind of understand that like I was in a position where I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I really didn't know what I wanted to major in. And so when I talk about actually kind of just switching major from major and picking up a minor here and there, I was really kind of hesitant to kind of find someone to actually talk to about this, and I didn't know who to really turn to. And it was really once I actually, you know, went on through my years and actually kind of solidified a little bit what I wanted to do, and even up to this point, you know, I still have doubts of really what I want to do. But it's also to say that like, when you go in and you talk with your academic advisor, who is that person that's assigned to you for all your years, depending on the major that you're a part of at USC, that academic advisor has a wealth of knowledge. And that academic advisor has a wealth of knowledge of all the student services that they have to offer at USC. And so not being able to kind of have that kind of as personal relationship that I hope that I did have with my academic advisor, I feel kind of speed track that process to me finding out exactly what I wanted to do. And so students that come into USC, they see the large number of student enrollments and they think, oh, I'm kind of going to be lost in the pool of just thousands and thousands of students. It's to say that when we talk about that student to faculty ratio and that kind of that student to faculty ratio, we also are talking about that student to faculty ratio within our student services as well. So all of those kind of career services, kind of advising services, and all these other kind of academic services that we have to offer, those are things that you can actually take advantage of at a much more personal level. And so building those relationships with your academic advisor, I feel is the #1 way to really start finding out exactly all of the offerings that we have to offer at USC, because I don't even know everything that we have to offer. And there's just so much there that it can really help you speed track that process to actually finding out exactly what you want to do. And if you're someone like who was in my position, who really didn't know and who was really kind of teetering between different majors and whatnot. So definitely build that personal relationship with your academic advisor. I promise you, they're all super nice. I've met a majority of them, and so they are just like the nicest people that are just always willing to help you out with whatever it is that you're interested in.
And we could go rapid fire. That'd be great too. We're almost at time.
Okay, so one thing I wish I would have known more, because I did my undergrad I didn't go to a private school, so I wish I would have known more about private school the private school admissions process. So I encourage you, if you are considering a private school, definitely reach out and learn as much as you can about the admissions process for private universities.
For me is the possibility to transfer in. For those of you who may not have that grade of grades at the moment and are applying to schools that do require test scores and or more of a higher GPA, going to community college is an option. There may even be a higher chance of you being admitted into your dream school if you do go to community college first for your first 2 years and then transfer in. And then there is a question that I'd like to answer for everyone, but someone typed in, which is, do students who submit test scores have a better admissions chance? And I will let you know that schools that do require test scores, I can't answer that for that, but for schools that are test optional and are test blind, if you feel like your test scores will help you in your admissions, feel free to submit them. However, talk with your admissions counselor to learn more about each specific school and what their stance is.
Something that I said earlier, and I really want to say again, is to apply to as many options to all the schools that you're interested, remotely interested. I would say apply, shoot your shot, whatever. That's my answer. When I was a student, I only applied to like a handful of schools, the ones that I thought, I pre-selected, but I really enjoyed my time at Fresno Pacific. I played tennis, I sang in a choir, I studied abroad. So I had a really awesome time at FPU. And so just saying, encourage you to apply everywhere and just, see what can happen. Be open-minded about like your choice. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our presenters for just really great Q&A. Like I said, very helpful. I hope to all those who are listening, and thank you all for joining us. As we close, there will be a quick survey that will appear on your window. It's really quick 4-question survey. If you can please take a moment to fill that out for us and share any feedback to help us improve. And then also this recording will be available a week from today at the same place you registered for this one at strivescan.com/WACAC. Again, thank you all, and hope you guys have a great evening.